Ever look at your A1c and think everything's fine, but your day-to-day blood sugars feel like chaos? Well, there's a reason for that, and almost every diabetic misses it. So lean in here for a second, because this is one of the biggest traps in diabetes care. I'm Trevor. I lived with type 1 diabetes for 43 years. I've raised 2 type 1 kids, and I've worked in the field of diabetes education. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 metrics and 5 strategies you can use to improve your A1c, your time in range, and your coefficient of variation. And I'll get to that in a minute. Not later, not someday, but starting this week, you can make these strategies work for you. I'll be sharing a real CGM screenshot later where my A1c looked perfect, but another number exposed the truth, and is the reason I'm doing this video. So stay with me. Let me take you back a little bit. When A1c first became a big diabetes report card metric to look at, yes, I'm old, I was thrilled when mine came back really good, 5.9%. Doctors congratulated me. I got the gold star, all the accolades, and honestly, I felt proud. I'm like, yes, I'm nailing this diabetes thing. But here's the truth. I was having a ton of lows and then a lot of rebound highs. I was chasing numbers every day, overcorrecting, not giving enough insulin. I was a mess, right? And because A1c is just an average blood sugar, all those highs I was having and all those lows just canceled each other out and gave me a lower A1c. Made my control look amazing, but in reality, I was really, really chaotic. That's when I realized something massive. A1c doesn't tell the full story, not even close. And we're catching on to that, of course. But if your A1c looks fine and your daily numbers feel unpredictable, it's not your fault. You're just missing 2 other numbers we should look at. Later, I'll show you a screenshot from my CGM where my A1c looked perfect, but another number exposed the truth. Let's break this down. Metric number 1, A1c, which we've been discussing quite a bit so far. A1c measures your average blood sugar over 2 to 3 months. It's good for big picture trends. Non-diabetic range is usually below 5.7%. Most adults with type 1 diabetes are recommended to aim for under 7%. Sometimes you'll target 6.5%, depending on the type of control you want. And that's about 154 milligrams per deciliter or 8.6 millimoles on average. Is it important? Yes. Does it give you the complete picture? No, because you can have a great A1c while living in absolute blood sugar chaos. So metric number 2, time in range, is the new one we look at, and it shows the percentage of time you stay between 70 and 180 or 4 to 10. Higher time in range equals more stability, more predictability, and ultimately more safety. And it's directly linked to fewer long-term complications. But if you're above 70 to 80% time in range, you're doing amazing. But even that doesn't show the whole picture because there's one more metric that predicts future complications, and almost no one talks about it. Metric number 3, CV, coefficient of variation. This is the missing piece. It measures how much your blood sugar swings. Basically, the volatility in your blood sugar, those ups and downs, those massive excursions. The research is becoming quite clear on this. A CV, a coefficient of variation, under 36% is associated with fewer complications, and that's what we're told to shoot for, under 36%. Fewer dangerous lows, far more predictable blood sugars. So here's the kicker. You can have an absolute gorgeous A1c. You can have fantastic 90% time in range. But if your CV is high, your body is under constant stress. Your risk goes up for a lot of things. Your energy goes down, and you don't feel like someone with a good A1c. That's the piece most people never learn. And I recently caught on to this. It was pointed out to me at a Dexcom talk. So let's get to the 5 strategies to improve all 3 of these: your A1c, your time in range, and your CV. Strategy number 1, master your overnight blood sugars. Sleep is 1/3 of your life. If your overnight blood sugars are wild, everything else becomes harder. Going to bed in range is really important. Reducing late night rebounds is also important. Checking basal, insulin, or pump settings is a must. This change alone can improve A1c and drop CV dramatically, right? Strategy number 2, pre-bolus properly. Not 2 minutes before eating, not as the food arrives. A real pre-bolus is typically 15 to 20 minutes before the insulin starts working and before that first bite of food. It's one of the most research-backed ways to reduce post-meal spikes and A1c by 1 to 1.5%. It flattens that glucose curve and improves time and range. And you guessed it, reduces that CV volatility, right? Every time. I'm not a doctor, just really invested in diabetes, clearly. So this is not medical advice. So strategy number 3, lower spike meals. You don't need to eat zero carb, but you need to eat predictable carbs. Yeah, choose foods that are lower on the glycemic index and don't spike as much. Eat moderate carbs, a reasonable amount, not 150 grams on a plate of spaghetti. Reasonable fat, reasonable protein. The fewer spikes you have, the fewer massive drops you have, and the smoother your CV becomes. Strategy number 4, know your exercise pattern. Exercise is phenomenal for blood sugar control and A1c levels, but only if you understand how your body reacts. High intensity training can spike glucose. So don't eat a banana before you weight train. It's usually not a good idea. Long, steady state workouts like cardio can drop blood sugars. Overtreating lows after workouts can cause rebounds. So understand what different types of exercise do to your blood sugar. Exercise isn't just movement, it's a glucose shaping tool. It's a phenomenal, powerful tool to use for diabetes. When used correctly, it supercharges time and range and improves CV. When used incorrectly, when you don't understand how exercises impacts your blood sugars, it can really mess up your CV. The last strategy, strategy number 5, stress and basal optimization. So we all know stress can wreak havoc on blood sugar levels. It usually raises glucose levels. Poor sleep raises glucose levels. Under basaling raises glucose all day. And what I mean by that is if you don't have enough basal insulin on board, whether it's pump or long acting, it'll throw your numbers off all day. So your basal needs attention. Once that foundation is solid, every other strategy becomes easier. This is a real example from my CGM where my A1c looked perfect, but my CV exposed a massive volatility in my blood sugars, increasing my risk of complications. This is the hidden truth most people never catch, but we can now, right? We have the technology to do that. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I can't stop looking at mine now. Drop me a comment. Does your A1c look fine on paper, but your CGM tells a different story if you're using a CGM? Tell me your biggest daily blood sugar frustrations. I read every comment. And if you want more real world strategies from someone who's lived with type 1 diabetes for over 4 decades, hit that subscribe button and the bell. Fix post workout blood sugar. Watch this one next. Bye for now.